Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm so excited we're diving right into the second episode of my building series in The Sims 4. And I'm really excited to get started on the family house and the bakery for our character, for our sweet Leon. In the first video, we talked about finding inspiration through character creation, and I shared some tips for a happy building experience. But today we're doing the fun part, which is building. Before we do that though, I want to talk about something important, and that is obviously having visual resources for inspiration. So I know that nowadays it feels like everywhere you look, there is AI, Gen AI images. I hate it personally, so I try to avoid it, but it makes it so difficult to find real references like images. I really try to stay inspired by things that are real. I don't want to just build something inspired by AI, but it's becoming harder and harder to find things that are not Gen AI images on the internet. So to escape it, or try to anyway, I often use Google Maps to look at real houses and even go on real estate websites or architectural articles like in magazines. I used to look at Pinterest to find images that I liked, but over the past years, it's all AI. There's basically nothing real anymore on there. So yeah, it's just sad and I don't like it at all, but it's the way it is. For my first build, I know what I want to do. I'm aiming for a specific vibe, kind of a mix of a French provincial aesthetic and a mixing with the British influences of Hanford, because that's where Leon lives. So I'm immediately thinking about things that I'm familiar with, and that was one of my advice: build from what you know. So I can see in my mind, those beautiful beige houses with like stone facades and classic blue or green shutters. I know them very well, and it's easy for me to have that as my starting point. So especially if you're new, honestly, it helps a lot to just build from what you know. So my first step today will be to gather images and compile them in a file on my computer. I still love using good old pen and paper because I'm old. So what I'm doing right now is sketching a floor plan in my notebook. I know. It might be weird to some of you, depending on your age, but it gives me a solid foundation and a starting point before I go into my game and actually start building. My building process is usually simple. I have like a reference shape that I can modify as I go. And that reference shape I drew beforehand. And then I'm adapting it to new ideas depending on, what I think about when I'm building, game limitations, all these things. I usually need just a starting point, and then I just go with the flow. There's no wrong way of building in the game. I'm just sharing with you how I do it, but that doesn't mean that's the right way. The right way is the way that works for you. Okay, so I said in my last video that I wanted 2 buildings. So 1 and very simple shapes. 3 in between. And 3. Yeah. So this would be the house. Oh. Burning myself with my teacup. This will be the house, this will be the bakery. So that both buildings are 2 stories high. 1 and 2. So I explained to you in the introduction that I draw my floor plans on notebook. Try to figure out a shape that I enjoy for the number of rooms that feels correct. depending on the characters I'm creating for or the use of the building, if it's a community lot. Yeah, that's basically it. And then I replicate that doodle. I'm not a great artist. I replicate that doodle in the game. And then I work around it, basically, is my technique as a builder. I went for really simple shapes because this is supposed to be kind of a tutorial, even if it's, you know, it's kind of a, in the end, it feels a little bit of just me building in real time and doing it with you and adding a little bit of, you know, commenting and on how I build. I guess I can't really do like a classic tutorial for you guys because I just build the way that feels right to me. And that is the truth. So I don't know how to teach that, but I can build in front of your eyes, explaining why I do the things I do, and maybe it helps, hopefully. So kind of wanted a really basic shape. I think I did. I had a back bit like this in the back of the house. I think it would be cool like for maybe a kitchen area or something. Because we have to have quite a big house since it's for Leon. And if you've watched my Veggie Legacy, the first episode, the founder is one of Leon's daughter. So we added some lore to Leon's backstory. So his wife name is Agatha. He had 4 daughters and they all grew up in this house. So we have to take that into account. For the size of the house, I wanted to give them a little bit of like outside, you know, like a little garden, but we will see what's possible. So I'm making sure this is aligned with that because I want to make it look like it's just a continuation of the street. So it blends itself in the center of the village. That is the goal. So I'm okay there. So I did something. I think I'm okay for the size of what I did. If it's a bit different, it's okay. As long as I like it and I don't feel like something's off, it must be okay. I'm going for a classic shape. I've said that multiple times now in my videos. It's just build from what you know, because I think that's the best advice, especially if you're starting. I know that now I'm trying to do things a little bit more challenging. I will look at image references and try to go for something that I'm not familiar with because just I want to build something different and I know things that I didn't know when I started building in the game. But if you're starting and you're watching this to get tips or to just watch someone build something, I feel like starting with something simple is the best way to go. So I went for basic shapes of a kind of building that I'm familiar with. So it's a mix between, I guess, French architecture and British type of vibes like you have in Enfield. If you want to have more options for the shape of your roof, you press Shift and C and you have new dots that appear and you can have a little bit more freedom with the bending and the shaping of your roof. Oh, it's gonna be annoying because it's a 3rd floor. It will be okay. Yeah, I actually loved the shape I achieved when I did the first part of my build in that forever lost footage. It's okay. We're gonna try to redo it and see if it works. I don't know. It feels correct. So to get the exact same shape, I just copy my roof piece and I put it to the other side. I think that was it. Also, I think what I did was using lot of extension on the roof trim. I know it looks super ugly, but there's a mod that makes the roof textures go under, and it works for some buildings and not for others, but I think like it's way more pleasing for the eyes. This is ugly, but I need that shape for what I intend to do, and what I intend to do is putting this above to have that special shape of roof. I have to use this one tile longer than the actual build, so it meets the end of my roof pieces. Okay, and for the size, I think I did just a normal roof piece, maybe. And I think it went all the way here because I wanted for the roof to look like it's just part of the same roof, you know, not two pieces. Okay, we will try to get a similar, not like, I don't want it to look like a magical build. That slight bend, is that the correct word? You guys will let me know. Yeah, on the roof. So it's, both of them are, you know, look like the same one. Okay, so a little bit more. And what I'll do, instead of trying to achieve the same thing, I will copy my roof again. I fear... Yeah, the house was way larger. I think I have... yeah, I think I've made it really big because I wanted like big rooms for the girls. I wanted it to feel like a true family home. So... Because I remember... I wish I took a picture. I remember my roof being, yeah, more of that shape, but it wasn't that big. Was it? I can't actually remember. My wall height might have been 2, the medium one. And then I think I just put that there like that because I wasn't sure what to do with it. So when I build, I always try to match the vibes of the surroundings. So it means matching, you know, wallpapers and trees and looking for things that are similar and that I can replicate. But I still, you know, want to be free of doing whatever I want. But since this is so central to Henford, I will try to match wallpapers and stuff to make it look like it's really like part of the world. Like I didn't build it. It was there when you downloaded it, right? And one thing that I cannot build without is the tool mod. Like it's silly, I know, but it's really a central part of my building process. And I think it is the case for a lot of builders because it just makes the building process way more easy. And you get to be way more creative with what you do. And yeah, that's it. Here I'm gonna scale up my dormers. Okay, that's way too big. So 1.2. Okay, 1.2 looks okay-ish. Maybe just 1.1. Huh. Yeah. And now I'm gonna try to make it go into the roof so it looks really like part of the of the build. Perfect. Do I do the same thing on the other side? We can. And if we don't like it anymore in the future, we will remove it. Am I? Yes, this is correct. Okay, so we said 1.1. Let's go. And then a boop. It's not in there. Okay, I think it might have gone like a little bit off center, but that's okay. You cannot really see it. I think that's fine. Perfect. And perfect. Then we can choose chimneys. We have to have chimneys. I think I went for the cottage living one for the bakery. And then I can't remember what I chose. Pretty sure I used this one here. I thought it just looked cute. And also in my mind, we could have like the bakery on the first floor, like the shop, and then the kitchen up there, where Leon is preparing all the pastries and the baguettes and the croissants and all of that, right? This house is actually inspired by a lot of houses I've seen in my life, especially when I was younger, like in South rural France, where the entrance is actually on the second floor instead of the first floor. And so on the outside, you have stairs, and the front door is basically here instead of there or there. I'm pretty sure a long time ago, it was either for the water rise, the risk of the water rising for some villages, and also for the most part, I'm pretty sure it's about heat, because heat goes up. And in old farms, they would use like the heat from the animals to keep warm. I'm telling you all this because this was explained to me by people. So I hope it's not, it is true, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. I want it to be in the middle, but my building's too skinny. That's not the middle. I'm scared that, if I make my building one tile larger, it's gonna look weird. Okay, let me think. I'm gonna put this there and this like this. The problem is my front door is basically 2 tiles large. Like this. I could do this, but this is too skinny. So let's try something. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not gonna like it. It's too large. We'll do it anyway. We might change our mind, so you never know. Let's try. Maybe it will be okay. Maybe I'm panicking for no reason. You have to do what looks good to your eyes, because you cannot, most of the time you cannot replicate anything in this game. It just looks really bad if you try to just do just a copy of something you enjoy. I mean, it's larger than I wanted it to be, but also I'm not mad at it. I think it kind of works. Is this 4 tiles large? I think it is. So wait, I'm gonna move my entire lot. Well, maybe I just moved the houses. I'll move you to there. I kind of want it this. That's okay. That's okay. What happens if I do this and this? How does it look? I mean, I like it. Maybe this way, and the building can even go one even more down, even more farther, like this. So this aligns with that. Okay. Now that's a huge space, but we could do something cute with it, like put like little tables and a chess table, because we all know how important that is in The Sims. There's still space for a little garden. If we really want to, we can do something with this for the house, but it has to blend. Does have to blend. It's a little bit off-centered, I know, but my center is not, you know, I don't care about it right now. It's not like I want to put one single building in the middle of the lot. I really want it to blend with the, and also you have the events happening there. Okay. We're gonna keep it like this for now because I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with outside spaces. But I like what I did there better than what I did the first time, and that often happens with me, is that I always go back to my build, and with time everything clicks. Like I will stay on a build for an hour and I can't do anything. Nothing I do is good in my eyes, and then I come back 2 days later and I just open the game and everything clicks. We're gonna choose 2 chimneys for the house, the family house. I want something really simple, and I think kind of, you know, I'm not British, so I don't pretend to know everything about the architecture there. But this reminds me a lot of houses and buildings that I've seen around in France, so I feel like there are similarities. This is kind of perfect, right? Not that high, but I might have put other ones on my first version, but I do think this is the one that I want. Let's make it. Okay. Okay, and I chose the last thing I did before I went into like putting windows and all that was choosing roof textures. I remember I just went for the same texture as the dormers for this roof because it looked good, so that's what I'm gonna do again. And I went for red. Because I like the clash. And also, see what I mean about blending in? It's a little bit more brown and orange and beige. And I think I'm gonna stand out by having a little bit more of color. I'll try to replicate the beige vibe. You know, with my own wallpapers. Maybe you could go for that. Is auburn? It is the word in French. I have no idea if it's the same in English. Roof. I don't know. Maybe that works. You don't actually have the same roof tiles in the game anyway, if I wanted to. We have the same kind of design, but not the same colors. Pretty sure it's... Is this one? It's this one. Right? Yeah. You don't have a matching one. The game said no. You could use this one, I guess. I don't know. I may change my mind. Doesn't look too bad. It's not the one I went for the first time, but it's okay. I don't like the color of my chimney. I think I went for a simple but detailed roof trim, which is the fairy one for this building. I love the detailing on it. I think it looks really cute. And I didn't want the bakery to look like just a normal house, so I gave it this trim and the little thingy hanging. And I think... see, it's bugged. This is why I always end up changing it. Oh, I think I used the fairy one here for the main part of the roof. And I think I actually used this detailing from the forend pack. Yes. Okay. I think we're good now. So what I'm gonna do is since it took me so long when I recorded the video the first time, it was most of the video picking wallpapers and windows and doors. I'm gonna do it off camera and then I will be back. So for you, it will be instantaneous. Okay, I'm back. I've prepared everything. I did some tiny changes because I had to modify the buildings a little bit because of the windows and doors that I chose and ideas that came to my mind while I was doing it. Basically, I just made each building one tile larger, here and here. And it works really well. So I've chose everything for the exterior and the base, and just so I know exactly what I want to go for. And I've been working with CC, which is so nice. But also, I'm already so slow to choose what I want when I build with no CC. So having CC is just... I love it, but it takes me ages. So I think it's best that I chose the basic things that I want off camera, and I'll redo most of it in front of you so you can see, and I'll explain why I chose what I chose. So for the house, we are going for provincial French house. So beige kind of white and very simple stone facade. Like this. I think this is perfect. I love this wallpaper. It's from the Riviera kit, I think. I think it's simple, but it's so pretty. So I've been doing this. I also added a balcony here because I'm going to put a door there and a little step going to the front door of the house. So for the front door, I chose this one because I think it's gorgeous. I have kind of restricted the CC I'm using so you guys can download the house and the bakery if you want to. So this is from, I think I have a lot of, actually, I didn't even realize, but I have a lot of French creators in the CC I picked. Okay, the gorgeous door, I'm pretty sure, is from Valia. Oh my god, go check their work. It's so beautiful. Everything they create is so gorgeous. Like, honestly, it's just... it's so pretty. And actually their CC for a bakery is what inspired me so much to build a bakery, before I even started thinking about the building series. In the south of France, there are a lot of traditional homes with this kind of facade and blue or green shutters. So that's what I went for. I'm pretty sure this is from Pierre Sim, who is a French creator, CC creator. Oh, I don't have my CC. I was working on another video, so I don't have my CC. Yeah, here you go. So I love the detailing. It's what's missing from The Sims. Like, this is so pretty. Look at that. Look at the quality of the CC. It's actually, I can't get over it. It's so, when you build without CC so much, it's actually so nice. It opens your imagination and makes, I have so many ideas. Okay, and we went for that door in the middle. And I think, yeah, I did this for the balcony because I like the detail. I'm pretty sure this is from another French creator. So are the stairs, and that's Ciboulette. And she's also French. Yeah. And I thought I would add this tiny bit of detailing. I don't know if it's gonna be too much, and I didn't test it out, so we're gonna do it together. I think it might be okay. I don't want to put like, columns. I think it might look kind of pretty. Okay. And then this, and this, oops, and this. I'll finish. I'll do this part. The tedious part off camera. We're just gonna do the facade so you guys can see what it looks like, and I'll put the windows all around the house off camera. I think that would be best. I guess it depends on what kind of viewer you are. I know I do like people like just not struggling, but I do enjoy watching people just building and changing things. And I don't have a problem, as you can tell if you have been watching the channel, with long content. And as a viewer, I enjoy it very much. But I know it's not the case for everyone. And I know by the stats of my channel that the majority of people don't watch videos entirely. Okay. Should we do this? I think yes. So it's a bit more centered and not too close to the detailing there. Okay. There's a weird thing happening with the shutters, is that they're not touching the wall, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's on purpose, but it's bothering me, so I'm gonna do this with the tool mod. And I'll do it all around the house, because I'm gonna put those windows all around, I'm pretty sure. And I thought we would go again for Pierre Sim, beautiful flowers. I think I wanted, but I haven't figured out the floor plan yet, so the windows positioning around the house might change. Like, for example, I think I want to do a kitchen in the extension. I might do different windows, but I thought the Valia windows worked really well with Pierre Sims. Yeah, That's the vibe. That reminds me of houses I've seen growing up, or even from time to time when I visit some parts of my family. It's kind of nostalgic to build this. It's really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna show you something I do all the time. It might be really boring to watch, but I use tool mod to just make things a bit more natural. I don't like that the fact that when I put the plant there, the flowers, is just like a tiny bit higher than the ground. And we're gonna... Maybe it goes all the way up. I'm not sure yet. Doing this kind of detailing, it's all about editing, I guess. Try something, and you can always remove if there's too much. Please go there, thank you. You know, you can always remove things. You can always edit. The thing wants to go here on the balcony, and I don't want it to. And it's really freaking annoying. Oh, Sims. Okay, can you go on the wall, please? Oh my freaking god. Oh my god. This game has one of the best build modes, and it's also so annoying. I'm gonna show you a trick I do for things not to float. Like, for example, this one, I want to place it probably right there in the middle. So I'll place the object so the footprint is on the second floor, technically. And then I'll lower it down with the tool mod. And so when I go down, it disappears and it's not floating. Well, right there, this is floating, but sometimes it floats in build mode and sometimes it doesn't in live mode. So what I will do when I check things out is I will go into live mode and I will check and remove and change the placement of the plants if it's bothering me, because most people play like this. So if you have this in your face while you're playing, well, it's just really annoying. So I will make changes if it ends up being bad. Okay, I think it's a bit too much. I'm gonna do this for now. That's the vibe of the house. We will be doing more detailing. I don't know yet if I'll do it on camera or off camera, but that's the vibe I will go for the house for Leon and his family. So for the bakery, I kept the university stone, which is there, and I've put it all around this part of the building. Yeah, like this. And then I chose a different brick that I thought was working really well. Again, it's a lot of Valia and Pierresim custom content. I think it works really well together. So I've put the brick all around the first floor, and then I cannot see my wallpaper. Oh, it's there. Okay, and I've put this Valia one. I liked the detailing. It's kind of a bit old, and that talks to me. She does something that a lot of CC creators do, which is give you like the same wallpaper with different detailing, and you can put them together and get a more realistic result, I guess. So I did this. I chose this door to be basically the entrance of the bakery with a little bit of detailing by Pierre Sim, I'm pretty sure. Then, oh, here she is. This diva. I chose this. Look, okay. I know but look at the detailing. It's Valia's CC. Look at that door. It's so beautiful. When I build with CC, I'm like, why am I building with that CC again? But then I remember it's just easier to share things. But yeah. Then I did a little bit of, I put two windows together like this because I liked the fact that one was open. I think it looks nice. I also did something that reminds me of childhood memories, kinda, which is like shutters in front of doors. It's something... I don't know if you have this in America. I know most of my audience is from America. So I used two shutters to make them look like they're just opened and... Oh, you're clipping though. Maybe it's okay. Maybe we don't need to be bothered by this, especially because I'm gonna put so much wisteria on the facade. Then I did a little bit of detailing for this. I think it looks great there. So I just did that when I was figuring out the build. Here we can leave it there like this because I'm gonna put wisteria in front of it so you will not see that it's not all the way. See, if I didn't have the tool mod there, I would lose my mind. Like, why are you like this? So I'm just moving it with the tool mod. I should have gone this way because it's gonna be easier. You go in the corner. Perfect. And then again, I'm gonna use the tool mod to make my placement perfect. Okay, you are a little bit lower. So I'm gonna put you there. Maybe a little bit more. Yes, perfect. Oh yes, I did something. I combined, again, windows. Up there, I did something like this, I'm pretty sure. You can see the mannequin. I used the mannequin to see where my sim... What's the view from the window? I don't know if people build like this. I'm curious. Yeah, basically, I will go through that probably again, but I changed... Like, I use platforms, basically, to change, because when I use retail wall height, I don't like how empty the space often look. So I use it to... Also, you have more options for windows and doors in the small section. So I often use platforms to basically get back to a normal wall height. So yeah, I did this. Yeah. It's all coming back to me. And then I think I just put wisteria under to hide the fact that it's not the same size of windows. I used this. Oh yes. I used this little decoration like this because I didn't like the way it was cutting through. I think it looks really good. Then yes. Oh, I still have the door. See, you can see what I did. So I didn't want a classic, like just a window with like, you know, pastries and baguettes and all that. But I do want like people to be able to see and even get like some food and some pastries when they're walking around. And also I will add tables and stuff and chairs so people can eat in front of the bakery. So yeah, that's the... Basically, I'm using this window, which is so pretty, again, by Valia. And under the stairs, which is a space that will not be usable, but it's okay, it's for decoration. I have put a shelf and I will put some pastries and croissants and all that. You'll be able to see everything from the window if you're sitting or just passing by. And for a bit of realism, I put a door, so you would think that Leon and Agatha would go in there to put the pastries in display. I used this from the bistro kit. I think it looks quite nice. I love this kit. I think the build items are really good. And then I think that was that big window. Yeah. That I used for basically the front of the bakery. Yeah, I think that was it. Looks cool. I think it looks nice. Okay. Then I did... Oh yes. I placed this. I'm not gonna redo the plants and all that, but I placed this really long shelf, which is CC2. Here, look at that. It's all CC. Pretty sure the books are by Ciboulette. The towel is by Valia. I will share my CC list, obviously, especially because I'm gonna share the build when it's finished. Oh, it's also Pierresim shelf. So here you go. I think that's it. Did I use... I see I have the shelf there. Did I use that under... Did I have like a plan? I'm asking out loud because I can't remember. I don't remember what I did with this. I might... Oh no. Oh, I remember. No. I wanted this to work as a display for the bakery. I remember now. Yes. Basically, I did that. Yeah. Okay, we're working. You went there, I'm pretty sure. And then I used a lot of the wisteria by Valia. What is left? Oh, yes. Okay, before we do the wisteria, which will be, I think, the last thing I do. I wanted... So inside you will be able to shop and buy things. But also, you know, enjoy reading a book, take your time. Eat some food. So I wanted to use this gorgeous window all the way along. Okay, and I think I kept those windows because I wanted to remind myself that I want to use those again here on the side. And that's just a little bit of detailing. We can put it there, it doesn't matter. Okay. I think we are good on the windows and doors. Yeah. I don't know where the toilets are gonna be, how the kitchen is gonna be, the placement of anything. So this is all temporary. It will change depending on what we do in like what we decide floor plan wise. Okay, the last thing I will do is place my wisteria. I don't know how enjoyable this is, but I will do it on camera. What I usually do for plants and stuff, I just try and then delete, and then I add things again. I will also often change the size of the plants of some of them, so it looks a bit more natural and not actually just copied, which you basically do the same object over and over again. And yeah, that's it. This is just to hide the fact that those windows do not match size-wise. I think that's good. That works for me. And then I'm gonna place a lot of wisteria here. I want it to be kind of big. Yeah, okay. This one is bigger. Yes. I think it will be gorgeous. For the plants in The Sims, I guess my advice is I always try to make it look a bit more natural. I redid the trick where I put my object on the floor that I wanted to appear, so when I go down, it doesn't float when my walls are down. Okay. I'm gonna size you up a little bit. 1.2 maybe? Yeah, I think 1.2. Oh yeah, it goes just above the sign. It's kind of perfect. I'm gonna use you there. I'm gonna lower you down a tiny bit. Perfect. And then I do want to use wisteria again. It's gonna be too big. Yeah. I'm copying things with the tool mod, so I don't have to size them again. I'm not a professional at the tool mod. There are people that are just so talented with it. I also don't have the patience to do some of the things some people do, I'll be honest. I love building in The Sims, but I've not that kind of patience. Okay. How does it look? It will probably change a tiny bit when I come back to the build, because I told you this, I change my mind all the time. And I change things, so I might, you know, if I just prepare my video and I see something I don't like, I might, like, you know, I'm just talking about the placement of the plants. This does not look too bad. It does not look exactly as I want to, but we're going somewhere. Too small. 1.4. 1.8? Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. I like it, I like it. Gonna size you down. Also might change because of, you know, what I told you about floating things. So I will go into live mode and I'll show you the final result. Okay, you can see we're in live mode with our gorgeous Leon, and I changed a few things. I removed a lot of the flowers I put on this facade because it was too much. And I figured out the wisteria, I think. I think it's working and it's not floating when the walls are down, and I think it looks kind of good. You tell me what you think. If you have ideas, I'm open to them. And also, okay, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on camera. I apologize, but it will change. I just wanted to give you an idea to what I had in mind using the beautiful CC that Valia created. But yeah, basically, you know, that's what I meant. I think it's a start. I'm pretty sure it's gonna look quite pretty when I'm done with it. So I'm so excited. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more. I love doing this, so I would be so happy to do more episodes. Also, I just received my new microphone and I am so happy. Until the next video, until next time, I hope you are all okay. Stay safe, take care, bye-bye.